Living life with a ventilator. One of the most commonly asked questions I get asked is, how do I leave home with my ventilator? Let me explain a few things to you. First of all, this is my ventilator. This tubing connects down to a water chamber. The water chamber is part of a system called a heated humidifier. You might wonder why I need a heated humidifier. Well, this ventilator takes the room air, which is very cold and very dry. It takes it from the back, puts it up to high pressure, and forces it out this tubing right here. It's very high pressure. That is to make sure I get a proper breath into my lungs. Unfortunately, this air is very cold, it's very dry. And if you take cold, dry air, it will dehydrate your airways. If you want an example of this, let me give it to you. Imagine you are in Morocco. Hello, Morocco. You are beautiful today. Anyways, you're online. And you say, honey, guess what? I found airline tickets to Denmark in December. Oh, I've always wanted to go to Denmark. Wouldn't it be beautiful to see Denmark in December? So your husband agrees. Yes, darling, that sounds like a great idea. So you go and purchase the airline tickets. December comes around. Here you are in beautiful Morocco. It is 28 degrees or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. You get on a plane. Boop, 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 boop. Away you go. Woo! And soon you land in Denmark. You get off the plane and you are so excited. You run through the airport and you exit the airport and you're like, hello, Denmark in December. And it is 0 degrees outside or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You take a nice big breath in. Yes, the cold, dry air is dehydrating all your airways. It sucks all the water out of your airways and it burns. Oh, does it burn to breathe? And it feels like someone is taking his nails and raking it over your airways. Yes, that is what happens when I do not use a heated humidifier. It is pretty cold, it is pretty miserable, and I do not like it. So the most common way to leave a home is to take a different ventilator set. So this one does not connect down to the heated humidifier. You can take this, attach it to your ventilator, and be like, I am good to go. So let me show you that. Ah, there we are. Woo, isn't this lovely? It is not attached to the heated humidifier. It is just taking cold, dry air and putting it right into my airways. Ah, it's like going to Denmark in December. Oh, it's just so lovely. Ah, yes, it's pretty miserable. But somebody was a genius and decided to make a small invention for this tubing circuit. This is called an HME. It's a heat and moisture exchanger. Let me take this off to show it to you. Oh, much better. So we have this other tubing circuit. This is called a heat and moisture exchanger. There is an apparatus inside. Basically, it's a sponge, more or less. And it'll hold and retain the moisture when I breathe out. It'll keep it in here. And then when I breathe in, it'll take this moisture and return it back to my airways. This prevents my airways from drying out. This will also retain a little bit of heat. Not a lot, a little bit. So it'll be better than having nothing on your tubing set, but it is still not like having a heated humidifier. You can use these heat and moisture exchangers a few ways. If you just have a tracheostomy tube, you can attach it just to a tracheostomy tube. If you are attached to a ventilator tubing circuit, you can do it a different way. You can attach it directly like this. But I do not like this because this is very heavy and it really pulls on my tracheostomy tube unless you're able to hold it up like this. I don't recommend really. This is too big and too heavy. There are smaller ones that can attach that do not do this. And it is causing my tracheostomy tube to move and to rub up against my tracheal wall. You don't want that. You don't want damage to your tracheal wall. You do not want this to, the tracheostomy tube to move, to rub against the tracheal wall, because it'll start making you cough and produce a lot of mucus. So this is not the best setup for this big, bulky HME. Instead, this is my tubing circuit. This is the exhalation valve. I will attach the heat and moisture exchanger by this exhalation valve. Why do I do it like this? Because air is coming this direction and then it wants to escape out the exhalation valve. This will retain the heat and moisture before it goes out the exhalation valve. I put the rest of my tubing circuit like this. And so this is just like this. Lovely. And so you can use a heat and moisture exchanger. Some people have this wonderful, but I do believe wrong idea that a heat and moisture exchanger is the same as a heated humidifier. It is not. While this does help, it is not. It is not, let me repeat, the same as a heated humidifier. So if you have an option to go onto a heated humidifier or an HME, always go heated humidifier, please. Do not just use this heat and moisture exchanger. Lovely when you do not have electricity, but if you have access to electricity, always use a heated humidifier. So with that all said, I will use this setup when I'm in the car. Lovely. I will use this setup when I'm in the car and I do not have access to electricity. But as soon as I go into the hospital, the emergency department, a doctor's appointment, religious services, wherever I have an opportunity to sit next to an outlet, I will plug in my heated humidifier and I will connect up this circuit to my tracheostomy tube with the heated humidifier. So let me go show you that. I need to redo my configuration here for my camera to let you see the whole entire setup and show you how I disconnect my heated humidifier and how I take it with me to appointments, to the hospital, to all sorts of fun and games. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Hello again. Now this is my setup. My ventilator is up here. The tubing connects down here to a water chamber. This is the heated humidifier. This tubing goes all the way, connects up here. So I can't leave this really attached. Some people do. Some people take their entire ventilator cart like this and simply take it into their vehicle. That would be lovely. But I can't do that. We can't put this ventilator cart into our car. It simply will not fit. It does not work. So I need to get this off the ventilator cart, take it separately with me, and to do that, I need to disassemble that. So let me show you one thing first. In order to disassemble this, I need to reattach, whoa, that didn't work. I need to attach this other circuit set so I can keep the ventilator running and show you how I'm going to disassemble this to put it into a carrying bag to take it with me to wherever I need to go. So let me just quickly change this out. Beautiful. Now this is all changed out, and I only ever have these issues when I'm recording. Thank you for witnessing my mishaps here. Another thing you need to do, you need to turn off your heated humidifier. So on the side here, turn this around. There is a button right here, and you're just going to simply turn it off. Ta-da! The lights have now gone bye-bye. All right. So now that we have the heated humidifier off, the reason you want to do this is otherwise it's going to keep heating this and it's totally pointless and it's going to make this start to alarm. Another thing you're going to want to do is unplug it. Don't try to leave home with this plugged in. It won't work. Okay, the next thing is this is already all ready to go. You simply need to lift this up. And now This is completely portable. Let me show you what I do. I take a grocery store bag. I put this inside. I put all the tubes and everything. Put the cord. Okay. Or not. Oh, baby. Okay, it's much easier when I do this on my own without trying to film it. So this is all in this bag. I simply have it like this, and it is good to go. Now the other thing I do is put myself back on camera. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Anyways, I usually do not take this machine with me. I have 2 ventilators, so I have another ventilator here. This has its own carrying case, and it makes taking this ventilator a lot easier. So actually, I will just put this onto this machine, and this is what I use when traveling because it has a case. It's much easier than this one. But if you really wanted to, you can take this machine off. Okay. There we go. So you can take this machine off. Again, this just lifts up. And now you're good to go. And make sure you take the cord with you, because I forgot to do that a couple times. Oops, your ventilator runs out. That's not good. So make sure you always take the cord with you wherever you go. Another thing I always do, take extra water with me. I put this extra water into this bag. It all goes together. That way when I get someplace, I have more water. I can't tell you how many times I forgot to take this. So now I just always have this bottle of water literally inside this bag. So whenever I disconnect my heated humidifier, it is already set to go because, yeah, you get in a hurry and you're just like, oh, yeah, forgot the water. Another thing I'm going to tell you is that this water chamber, you can see it only has a little bit of water, and that is intentional. Please never, ever, ever, ever travel with a full water chamber. That is bad because this is going to tip. And if this is full, it's going to go all over your tubing. It's going to leak out of the top here. It's going to make a mess. Don't do that. So if you're going to travel with any water, I usually put a little bit in here simply because when I get to my destination, I can plug this in, let this heat up a little bit. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes for this to heat up. Then once this is heated up, then I'll add more water to it. But don't put this with a full water chamber. Bad idea. I learned that the hard way. If you want to know how to ruin a heated humidifier, that's one way is put a full water chamber and let it run all over your machine and short circuit the machine. That is so much fun. Don't do it. Okay, so that is how I leave home with my ventilator. It's not too complicated, just a couple steps. And I usually do not take this with me. This always stays at home. I'm so sorry. It never gets to go anywhere. It has a pretty dull life. So I hope you found this educational, informational. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them down in the comments below or send me an email. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. Please also remember to comment and share. It really helps my YouTube channel. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye. One last thing, when I arrive at my destination, I'll quick show you how I set everything up. First of all, you want to make sure everything is plugged in. So you want to take all the cords and get them into an outlet. Okay, now that everything is plugged in and operating, I'm going to show you how I connect this up. So you find this short end and you're going to need to connect it to the ventilator. This other tubing is going to connect to me. There, it is all connected up. And lastly, we are going to turn the machine back on. Again, underneath here is the on-off switch. So we're just going to click that on. Lights will come on. La la. There we go. It is on, it is operating, and this is basically, I sit next to it in my wheelchair at appointments or wherever, and yeah, that's how I do it. And when they call me, I just disconnect everything and carefully put this all in my lap. It is not the easiest task to balance this all in my lap, but I don't have a better system at the moment. So that is how I set everything up once I get to my destination. With having a ventilator, one of the most common questions I often get asked is, how do I leave my home with my ventilator? The simplest answer to that is I simply switch out tubing circuits. I have another tubing circuit like this, which is for I don't know, I forgot. Let me redo that.